Bitcoin broke 36k support. As if that wasn't enough, he went down to broke 34k support. As if that wasn't enough, we dropped all the way to 33,270 this morning. And as I'm talking to you, the bulls doesn't seem to be anywhere close by. Are we going to 32k again? Because we touched 32k just last year, right? When Bitcoin pulled back, and because if we look at the chart right here, we see that just around January 2022, Bitcoin was at this same particular range. So the question is, can Bitcoin buyers once again come in probably around 32k like it did? In fact, the last time we stopped at exactly 33,100 range, right? So is Bitcoin going to drop lower this time? And if so, how lower are we going? Is there a hope for the bulls? And if so, are we ever going to see a new all-time high before the next Bitcoin halving? Because it looks like what we're seeing in the market today is not new. It has happened before. I experienced it in 2017. You see, this is what we're going to discuss more, why there is a hidden truth in all of what is happening in the market. I remember Bitcoin Gorilla. Thank you for joining me, and thank you to my subscribers. I appreciate all of you, and my new viewers, thank you for being here.
I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle just to be me. Had to rise up just so they could see me. Did what I had to do just to feed me, and what was left.
Oh, welcome back. So this video is going to be an in-depth view on this market. I made a prediction last year that Bitcoin is going to 20k range. Of course, we're not yet in 20k, but the problem is, since the dump from 60k when I made this prediction, because Bitcoin was still trading around 68k, the price has not seen a good pump. Even when I expected that we could see some pump from January, at least 54k range, it seems to be more tough than I thought it would be. But I am not surprised. Why am I not surprised? I've experienced this before. In 2017, honestly, I won't lie you, I lost a lot of money because of when Bitcoin went to 20k and all of that. I was one of those people that was excited to go into the market, but I felt whipped from 2017 all the way to 2020. I totally lost hope. I was completely flocked by this market. Because why? 2020, the progress was good, we made good money, and then we started 2017, the good money was there, we had some benefit, and I kept putting all my money into the market, and Bitcoin kept plummeting. The problem then that I had was I kept buying the support, buy the dip. People would be like, buy the dip, it's going to bounce, buy the dip, it's going to bounce. Honestly, from my experience, it doesn't easily bounce that easy. In fact, I was stuck in the market, and I sold the bottom. I was one of those, and funny enough, I called the bottom and I sold the bottom. I was like, it's going to bounce. I posted on TradingView, it's going to bounce, and I was not sure of myself because I have lost hope. I've been in this market holding for 2 years straight, and it kept getting worse, and I just kept buying the dump. Like, that was what everybody was saying in 2017. It's going to rise, it's going to bounce, it's going to all of that. So when I saw this coming, I thought that probably it's going to bounce. Supports we are holding before, but since we hit 68k, support seems to fail. In fact, the bull seems to run, and I feel like what is happening is a bigger retest on the monthly. So to prove all of this, we're going to use the Bitcoin Gorilla box, right? and I'm going to decipher this price on multiple time frames: monthly chart, daily chart, weekly chart, and 4 hours chart. And after that, we're going to contrast. If you look closely, this is what happened in 2017. In 2017, we see price right here. Look at it, December. So I noticed a correlation with halving, the reaction of Bitcoin to halving. So it's always like this. 2016, after the halving, 1 year straight up pump, and we went to one. It was on sideways before then, and we went to 20k. It was in a straight pump. But after the halving, 1 year after the halving, after the pump, it started plummeting and pulling back, and it kept going on without a good significant bounce, and until it went this down. I gave up here. Do you understand? I gave up here. 2 years straight, I gave up. I was one of those people that sold here. So the experience was not an easy one. You see, holding is easy if you just dump the coin and don't even look at it and forget it there. But the problem comes in when the volatility start playing with your mind. Like, you start having anxiety because your money is in there and you keep buying. The problem is this saying to keep buying the dump. I think it's not wise to keep buying the dump. For me, when I get stuck in a dump, all I need to do is, if I can't find the opportunity for a good bounce, I'll look for the nearest support, right? How close is the nearest support? Then if that nearest support comes and still break, now depending on my goal, now some people are buying to hold for a short time, few months, and sell off and make the profit, and they're out. That's how some traders trade. Why some people are in it for a long term, years, are the iron hands, those who can hold with good iron hands. Now, if you're that type, then you wouldn't feel all of this, because this whole pullback from 68k is nothing but a retest on the monthly chart. So let's look at the monthly chart, because this is the monthly chart. Let's start from the monthly chart. From the monthly chart, as far as price is above this range, in fact, as far as price is above this range, price is still bullish, right? Yes, but why do we have to come all the way here for it to continue? Well, here's the thing. On the monthly chart, we see that price has been on a sideways for quite some time. So monthly chart gives us less candles, less noise. So in fact, I know the box strategy here might look strange to you. Don't worry, I developed it myself. It's easy to understand, so when I'm explaining it, it's going to make a little easy for you to understand. So this entire range, this entire period is a period of range, right? And if we know what a range is, a sideways market, there's always going to be a breakout. And if you are into price action, you also need to know that after the breakout, there is always a retest. So what we have here was a straight 1, 2, 3, 4, like 6 to 7 green candles on a row. What does that tell me? It tells me it was a straight up breakout from a long period of sideways market. So the entire life of Bitcoin has been on a strong sideways. Now it might look like Bitcoin went to 20k, but if you contrast it to when Bitcoin went live trading to this day, it's entirely within a range, more like a range. So what does a range mean? It means that though capital was entering Bitcoin from the release of Bitcoin till 2010 and all of that, Bitcoin money kept entering Bitcoin, but there was no significant price move. And if you know, volume is king. As long as volume keep increasing, even if price is deplomating, as long as volume keeps growing, price will change direction at some point and follow volume. That's why you see sometimes you don't see the bulls coming and then they hit, or you don't see the bears coming and then it hits, right? Because volume is king. Volume leads the direction. The more capital enter the market. So right here, capital has been entering the market, but the market did not move. Are you hearing? Are you seeing the hidden truth? The market did not move for the entire life of Bitcoin. 20K was the highest it has gone, which is very little compared to the kind of money that has entered during that period of time, right? So when the accumulation went on for so long, we had a breakout right here, right? So that straight 7 months of pump is nothing but a breakout from a long term sideways market. And breakouts are great opportunities because the price will keep running, because one is there is no previous resistance. So when we broke out of 20K, there was no previous resistance, so price had that side easy run to the upside. Now the thing about when price runs like this is that the market, the price will keep running until it exhausts all the money it has been accumulating during this period of accumulation. So let's say Bitcoin started trading 2010, right? But Binance, of course, did not start trading 2010. Binance is a new exchange, and this is Binance chart, and Binance chart started 2017. So let's start calculating 2017, but just know that this includes both 2010 and all of that, since Bitcoin went live and all of that. So but from Binance chart 2017, and you see that it's been on sideways. So 2017 to 2020 is already 3 straight years. I'm not including the past. I'm just including how long Binance has been live trading Bitcoin on Binance. For 3 years, it's been on a sideways until 2020. In 2020, Bitcoin was able to break out for the first time from a sideways market. All the money that has been entering Bitcoin close to over 6 years has just stood below the value. So when that escape happened, the price kept running. It is running what it is seeking for buyers, because it is seeking for sellers, because there's no visible sellers anymore, as long as the last sellers was in 20K. That's where the last, of course, price action when you're drawing, or even indicators when they're trying, they make use of previous data, right? We work with previous data, even the indicators. Though this video we're not using any indicator, it's going to be pure price action. So when they broke the control line right here of they broke, not the control line, the resistance, right, of 20K, it was a free spring for them, and they kept running. Why are they running so fast? How did we get to 68K? Did the magic happen overnight? No, there was no magic happening overnight that we got to 68K. We got to 68K because of previous works, previous capital that has been entering the market for the past life cycle of Bitcoin going live. So we finally had a breakout from a sideways, and it happened in 2020 after halving. So there's a cycle that I noticed when I went to the life of Bitcoin. I noticed that almost after Bitcoin, time. Sorry about that. Time. So there is this there's this time. Come here. There's this pause after halving, and after this pause there is always a sharp move. It happened in 2017 because late 2017 the pump started. 2016 was halving. Late 2017 the pump started. Also 2020 was when the pump started, right? Late 2020, and the halving happened in 2020, right? What am I saying? Sorry, my dog interrupted me. So just know that after the halving, there is always, the halving is after every 4 years, right? So the last halving led us to 2020 pump, and the previous one before it led us to 2017 pump. So you see the coincidence. But the only thing I've noticed is that after that 1 year pump, there seems to be a pullback. And that's what we're going to try to understand why such happened. You can see it happening here. You can see the pullback. They kept pulling back until they got here. But I'm not sure we're going to go that far this time around. And the move started, right? So this was where the halving happened in 2020, and the move up started, and we had a breakout. So the capital that has been in the market had to take its run, and adoption from the wall, because now Bitcoin kept growing popular, right? Bitcoin kept growing popular, and Bitcoin started having a lot of lovers. People who are interested, more capital comes in, leading the breakout to also keep shooting up, because as Bitcoin shoots up and goes up, the popularity rises, and what happens? More people get interested. People who have never heard about Bitcoin. This fuels the pump. This fuels the price movement to 68k. But we finally got to 68k, where finally exhaustion of the capital that has been in the market started happening. So we've exhausted the capital that has been accumulating for the past 6 years, right? It's not like it's totally exhausted, but it has gotten to a point where there's an equilibrium between the amount of people who are coming into the market to, of course, sell. Those who have bought, imagine how many people bought Bitcoin at $1, and imagine how many people bought it at $1,000, at $10. All these people started selling and taking profit. They've made good money. Their patience over the years has paid off. So these ones who are selling, who has been in the market this long, 10 years, who has been in the market this long, started to sell. And because the capital that are coming into the market is not enough, as strong as the capital that was in the market 6 years ago, the sell-off now is beginning to meet up with the capital entering the market. The capital entering the market is no longer overpowering the sell-off. So we're having an equilibrium, which is happening right here, a sideways market, because now the sell-off is trying to battle the buyers. For price to move, let me tell you something, I always say this, price trading is 80% waiting, 10% buy, and 10% sell. Now, we are in that 80% waiting period, where price is going to alternate itself within a certain price range, and those who bought within this alternation period is going to suffer anxiety. They're going to suffer they're going to be affected by the emotions running high in the market currently, because now should I buy, should I sell, it's up, it's down, it's this, it's that. You confused. You wake up the next morning, it's at 40k. The next morning before you blink, it's at 30k. It's at 35k. Before you know it, it has 44k. The same range, and before you know it, it's back to 33k. And you wonder, when can we leave this range? Well, it's natural, because price go through a life cycle. There's something called price life cycle. So the breakout we had is back on the monthly for a retest. It's normal. It does not mean Bitcoin is no longer bullish. So if you're buying Bitcoin for the long term, well, the only thing is, I will tell you that you have to wait for another 2 years to see good pump, for us to see a new all-time high. I know I said this the last time when I called 20k coming to Bitcoin. A lot of people said I was delusional. Don't worry, the video is actually in this channel. I will leave the link under this video. A lot of people call me delusional, but of course it's already happening, and we are already saying it. So I like breaking down my analysis, and using this box is telling me that we could still see 32k. We could still see 28k, but we have to face 32k range first before we talk about that range. So we see that if I zoom in, there's a little gap right here, and somehow we're going to fill that gap to get to this support range. So this entire range is a support range, and this entire range is a resistance range, right? So this is the box, inner box, right? And this is the outer box, right? Of which here is the support. Shh, time, come here, baby, come, time, come on. So of which, sorry about that, of which this is the, somebody is outside, come on, time. So of which right here is the support, right here is the resistance of the inner box, right? So what we're dealing now is we're trying to get into the inner box support, right? Right here. We need to touch this trend line. There's a trend line. So to make more sense about this, I am going to take this chart and we're going to dive deeper to it into weekly chart. So we're going to deal with more candles so that you're going to see clearly what I was talking about, right? So we see right here that there is a gap still laying off. So the last time they fell from 68k range, this is my resistance of the bigger box. The last time they fell from that resistance, they couldn't hold any support until they returned to the inner box. So the box is like more like a Pandora's box, right? Where price, when you move from one box, you move into the next box. When you are falling, you are spiraling in, and when you are on the upside, you are spiraling up, right? So we're spiraling down, so we fell from the outside box into the inner box, and right now what helped us to stop the last time was that 33k range, right? The range of which we have just returned, right? But the question is, can it stop the fall this time again, right? A good question. Well, chances are high that they could, chances are high they could not. I like being open-minded because I see that one thing with a support is the more a support is hit, the weaker it becomes. So right here, they got stopped. They were able to contain it right here. But I see a stronger support right here. I see a much stronger support right here because you see this, you see this. So I see something looming around this point. It's looming. I'm not saying it's looming. It's looming. It's looming around this point. Now, if you watch my previous video, I even talked that we could even make it up to at least this 52k range, right? I was thinking we could make it up, but I think what happened is I underestimated what the bears could do, especially not being able to allow the bulls to have a pull-up. Even if the pull-up comes, they terminate it easily. I was thinking we could have this move to this point, so that was why I was hoping we did, but no. They could only be able to get to that point if they get a stronger hold, and this hold is not strong because they touch the tip of the support. It's like, let's take for instance, you're falling from up, right? And from a parachute, and let's say there is a downlope on the floor that you have to land on so that you don't injure your legs. So when you fall then and you land on the downlope, your first bounce on the downlope is definitely not going to be your best balance. So it's likely you bounce after you fall on it. So that's what happened here. Meaning as they fell on the downlope at the tip of it. That's my box, right? At the tip of the downlope, because I treat the support as an area, resistance as an area. So that first fall is not going to be strong enough to hold them. So they bounced. Yes, it's a normal reaction when you fall on a downlope, because supports are like downlope. They break easily, and when you fall on it, you don't stand on your first candle. They are likely going to have a little sideways on it. A good example, you see it happening right here. You see it happening right here, and you see it happening right here, right? So when there's always a little bit, 2 or more overlapping candles on support to prove that the support is strong enough. So when the first arrive, the first candle is not your best entry. When a candle falls on support, that's why they say nobody can catch it bottom. The first candle that forms the bottom is not your best candle of entry, because chances are high there will be some overlapping that could even still break the support and return back up. So it's always good to be patient when entering your trade on support. So this first bounce, first land is not the best land. So they need to come back, right? And then when they come back, this could be the time when they will pierce into the support, because inside, having the power to balance your 2 feet on the Dunlop gives you opportunity to be able to balance, to gain your balance and leave the Dunlop, right? So they need to get some sort of balance right here, right? And where is that balance looming? If we zoom in closely, we see the balance looming around 32k to 30k. In fact, 32k to 28k range. I gotta be honest, 28,600. I gotta be honest. I have to consider this point. It's very important. It's very, very important, because that's the bottom of the box. So anything could happen while they are in this range of 32k to 28k. That's the range. You can even see the effects right here. It's all wicks. Right? So BTC, ugly truth is we are close to a support. It's going to feel painful. It's going to feel like you're going to give up if you're holding Bitcoin. But you've held this long. You've held to this point. I am not giving you a financial advice. It's no financial advice. But if you are a holder on spot, the best time for Bitcoin right now is for futures. If you're on futures, this is the best time for Bitcoin. But if you're on spot and you have Bitcoin, I think you've already missed the exit. The hope now is that we get a bounce around this point. But I know in this market, 2017 taught me that hope is not a good thing. But selling now is not also going to be, it's already too late to run. It's already close to a spot. We're going to likely get that bounce up. And somehow, it is going to still return to this point. 58k is coming. I kept saying this, and I know a lot of people don't like it when I said it. I said 58k is coming, but I knew this leg down was coming as well, because if you watch my analysis, my last analysis on Bitcoin, I said we're going to go down as far as 36k or 34k, but I didn't know that. You see that 34k has been broken, but I saw that coming as well. Personally, I saw it coming, and this market for a while now is just what it is. We're on a sideways market. You're likely going to lose a lot of money than you're going to make a lot of money if you are on spot right now. And I understand how it feels, because Bitcoin, some altcoins are trying their best to stand the sell-off, but you see what is happening is that as much as Bitcoin falls, it carries this altcoin with it, because Bitcoin, they say, is king, right? Bitcoin is king. It carries this altcoin with it. So what I'm saying in other sense is this price is going to pull up. We're going to pull up, but it's going to require a lot of patience. It's going to require a lot of patience. A lot of patience. We're going to pull up. We're going to pull up 52k, but first we're going to get to this point and pull up this way, right? And when we pull up, I am not assuring a new all-time high, because right now the trend is still high that we're going to come down. And if the retest that I'm seeing on monthly, if this is actually a retest on monthly, then it is not over. It's not over, because what I'm saying is this. Then what I'm saying is that price could return this way. The retest could complete itself when it gets here. Now this is bitter truth. I know you click off. A lot of people will click off. at this point, but it's the truth. I know a lot of people are calling 100k. If what I saw in 2017 is coming, something like this is going to play out. But the move is likely going to continue. The move is going to continue, right? The move is going to continue because it's a long-term bull market. So it's going to move like this, and we're going to continue up, right? This is when we're going to get a new high, right? But we could still see that 20k range. Honestly, I do see that range. That will confirm the complete retest of that breakout. That breakout, you can see another. That breakout needs a retest on the monthly, and what will complete that retest is this move. So, but patience is what is needed if you are stuck in the market, so that we can get a bounce for an exit. And if you're a futures trader, this is an opportunity to short the market. But shorting, you should just watch out where you're shorting, because we're very close to support, and soon something is going to react. Macavini Traders is currently open. If you want to learn and trade with me live, I give 6 weeks intensive training on understanding this market, and then you get to trade live with me and warn you ahead of time. It's not just me. You're going to trade, you're going to join the family, and you trade with those that have been training all this while, because it's a lifetime asset, so everybody is in the house to carry you along. You're also going to have access to materials to help your trading. If you need trading books, we also make it available for our students, and you get to take trades with me, and I give you market insight on the goal, and the goal is to create consistently profitable traders. Consistently profitable traders does not mean that there's no losses in the market. I'm a very honest person. I will be blunt with you. The goal is to keep your profits, and not just keeping your profit, to cut your losses short. Losses are going to come. There's nobody, if anybody tell you you're not going to get a loss in this market, the person is lying to you. It's going to come, but to keep it minimal. You will never see liquidation. If you're interested, you will never see liquidation. Your losses will be minimal, and then you will understand the best time to trade and the best time to wait. And not just that, you're going to have live me. I'm sharing my trade, the market insight, and I'm going to be live there with you and have people walk through each trade with you, especially when you get stuck in a trade and you're fumbling with big losses. We teach you how to hedge your positions, how to even protect your losing position. I remember Bitcoin Gorilla. The truth is, if we go to 4 hours, if you're interested in joining the family, the house is currently open. Just click the link under this video and it will take you to the website so that you register. And admission is closing by 23rd May, so we have a few weeks to the closing of admission until October again. So if we look closely, like I said, we see what is happening. If we look closer, this is what is going to take us to daily chart. I want to have a closer view of the market, so you see what I'm saying now. There's a seller's line that has been formed, right? So right here we see a seller's line. I'm going to try to find it on the daily chart, and from the time they got rejected to right here, we see a seller's line, right? Beautiful seller's line. And we see that price has been respecting this line from the breakout point. Right? So we have one touch right here, we have a second touch, but then you see we have a little gap, which is telling us that this gap is likely going to get filled up, right? This little gap to the trend line is going to likely get filled up anytime soon. So what does that tell you? It tells me that my support is likely going to be pierced, and this trend line is calling 28k right here. right here. That's what the trend line is calling the bottom of the box, the bottom of the box, the very bottom of the box. And that's exactly this point, and that's exactly this point. That's not what you want to hear, but that's what daily chart is telling us, right? So this will give us a little access to attack this seller's line, and it's going to get pulled back, and we're going to attack the game, and we're going to get pulled, and it's going to move like this, right? And then, in fact, it's not going to be an easy one. It's going to move like this, somewhere like this, something before the return or something like that. Something like that is going to happen. That's if they don't get stopped at 52k, they're likely going to get stopped at 58k to 62k range. So that's what I do see coming before we had the retest of this down move. So that's what the daily chart is saying. And if I look closer to 4 hours chart, so let's zoom in and let's see what's happening on 4 hours chart. 4 hours say they are very close, so you see that they are no longer far. It looks, this is just a little patient, so just a little patient, then Bitcoin will get to a little good buy range, right? A good buy range. So this entire place is the important place we are looking them up to. So we could get 32k is very important. 32k range is very important. 32k range is very important, because if I look at the chart, you can see 32k. See just this range. I call it a range because we're going to get sideways. There's going to be a sideways market on it, so we're going to get something like this, and they move up. That's what I see coming before they return back up to this point, right? And then they will return up before they continue the move. So that's what I see on Bitcoin. Thank you very much for joining me, and I do apologize for my dog barking in the background. So if you're interested in joining Macavini Traders, visit the link under this video. Thank you for all your comments. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe. If you like the video,